Welcome. Thank you for joining us today. I'm so glad that you are taking time to learn more about Franklin University, Switzerland. We are a wonderful liberal arts university located in the southern part of Switzerland, and we provide our students with a transformative education. My name is Kenley Jones, and I work in the admissions office, and I am based in the United States in Northern California. And wherever you are watching this around the world, we're so glad that you are taking time and investing in your future education. So why don't we go ahead and get started and tell you more about what makes Franklin University truly unique and great. Well, one of the questions that I always receive, for example, if you're in the United States, is my education recognized? And the answer is yes. Franklin University holds both a dual accreditation in Switzerland, where we're located, but also the United States as well. Now, what does accreditation mean? We hear that word quite frequently. Essentially, what accreditation means is that we are officially recognized of being qualified to perform a particular activity. So essentially, we are doing what we are saying we are doing. And that activity is providing you with a world-class education and experience. So from a US standpoint, you can believe that your university experience at Franklin is fully accredited in the US, very similar to a university that is physically in the US. We hold the same set of standards in terms of quality of faculty, learning outcomes, student life, etc. Now, we are a relatively small university. At Franklin University, we have about 425 students on our campus. Now, those students are supported by roughly 50 faculty members who come from around the world, very similar to our student body demographics. These are faculty that bring years of experience in research and teaching. Because they come from around the world, you sort of have that global awareness attached to it. Our faculty to student ratio is roughly, we have one faculty for every 9 students. So you can believe that at Franklin University, you will get a personalized education. Faculty who know your name, they know your background, they know your learning style, and certainly they can adapt their teaching style to that. Because our classes are relatively small, roughly about 16 or so, your faculty members will engage you inside the classroom, far beyond just lecturing to you, but more a collegial relationships, wanting to hear your perspective, your background, and find ways to collaborate with you and also your fellow peers. Now, as I mentioned, Franklin University is relatively small. We have about 425 students. They are predominantly spending or studying undergraduate programs, but we do offer some master's programs as well. Even though we are a relatively small university, we have about 60 countries that are represented. So it's a very global feel. It's a very diverse campus, students coming from all corners of the world. Currently, we have about 50% of our students coming from North America, with the majority coming from the United States. To continue on, we all have sort of that idea of what it's like to potentially travel and live in Europe. And Switzerland is one of the most breathtaking countries that you can truly be in. Now, from a U.S. perspective, in the U.S., we have what is called counties. Here in California, there are many different counties. In Switzerland, think of a county as a canton, okay? And we are located in what is called the Ticino canton. So Switzerland is actually sort of broken up into three major regions. To the north, you have the German part of Switzerland. To the west, you have the French part of Switzerland. And the very furthest south, the very tip, hugging the Italian border, you have the Ticino canton. And this is the only predominantly Italian-speaking canton in Switzerland. The city that we're in is called Lugano. Population is about 63 to 64,000 people. It's about the eighth largest city in Switzerland, but one of the biggest financial centers for the country. And it's also a big tourist draw as well. During the spring and summertime, you will literally find people visiting from all over the world. Now, I like to believe and know for a fact that you essentially get the best of both worlds. You get to study in Switzerland, one of the most developed countries in the world, one of the most educated, safest countries in the world. It's the country that has brought you the world's best chocolates. And after all, we essentially invented time. If you think about the Swiss watch, maybe your dad has one, maybe you have one. So you can expect an experience that is of utmost quality in terms of your daily life, very efficient, very effective. But you're in the Italian section, which means great food, great culture, great architecture, very laid back in a lot of respects. So, as mentioned, best of both worlds. Close to Milan, Italy, actually closer there than even our major city of Zurich, but easy to get to via the trains. Now, at Franklin University, we offer roughly about 20 different academic programs. These are in a liberal arts setting. So what that means is they are interdisciplinary. You can major in something like environmental studies, but some of your classes to fulfill that degree might be pulled from some other areas of the university, some other academic departments, for example. International relations means you could be taking political science courses, history courses, even environmental studies course. We do have requirements to fulfill in order to graduate. We have what is known as a language requirement, a global responsibility requirement. But being a liberal arts university means that you really have control for the most part over what you want to study. I look at a liberal arts degree as providing you both breadth and depth. The depth is whatever you choose to major in, whether it's fashion studies or international economics. And once you major in something like that, we are going to provide you with the curriculum and the courses to have a very marketable degree in that specific program. So that would be your depth. Your breadth is making sure that you get a well-rounded education, that you're able to leave Franklin with analytical skills, communication skills, writing skills, global awareness skills. And that means that you have a lot of breadth to your education. You have a lot of versatility. So I believe that liberal arts universities are great at not preparing you for one thing, but really preparing you for multiple things. So if you end up pivoting and doing something else in your career as we change careers with, as the world changes, just know that your Franklin degree will allow you to pivot accordingly. We offer about the equal number of minors as well. Some of these minors are not offered as majors, but one of the cool things about the minors that we offer is, number one, they can either complement your academic major. For example, something like history works really well with an international relations minor, for example. Or maybe something in environmental studies could really go well with social justice and sustainability. But maybe your minor is just something that you really enjoy doing. Maybe you don't necessarily want a career in that, but you just have an interest in furthering your film studies outlook, or maybe you have an interest in gender studies. So majors and minors go hand in hand, but they can also not complement each other and just allow you to kind of pursue your own personal interests. Now, one of the things that makes Franklin truly unique, as I mentioned, we are a global campus. We have students and faculty from all over. You better believe that we are going to embed in your academic experience academic travel. So every semester, Franklin students do go on a faculty design and led credit bearing academic travel course somewhere in the world. Okay. So each semester, look at it this way. You are taking classes. About midway through, your classes will pause. Then you will go on a credit bearing study abroad trip somewhere in the world for the next 2 weeks. Once you return after those 2 weeks to Franklin with the rest of the students who may have gone on your trip or have gone on another one, then the classes that you are taking that semester will resume. All right. So think of it this way. If you are at Franklin, obviously, for 4 years, you have 2 semesters in a year. After you graduate, you will have completed 8 major study abroad trips through our academic travel component. Think about the experiences you will have, the global competency, the cultural competency that you will experience, what your eyes will be open to. So I hope you will embrace this opportunity and really take advantage of the academic travel piece at Franklin. This is a list, a partial list, a sample list of some of our academic travel courses that we do. Now, granted, a lot of them are in Europe, for example. Certainly, that makes sense, the ease of travel there. But you can also see by the pins that we are going elsewhere. Maybe you are going to India or New Zealand. Maybe you are going to Guatemala to study ancient Mesoamerican civilizations and societies. So it doesn't have to necessarily be just a short train ride somewhere else in a neighboring European country. Maybe you mix it up and go to Latin America or Southeast Asia. Now, at Franklin University, we are more than just a place that you go to learn about your academic program, interact with faculty. And if you think about it, when I think about my college experience, as great as my classes were, as great as my faculty were, really what I remember about my university experience is the things outside of the classroom, the people that I interacted with on weekend trips, the people that I lived with in the residence halls, the clubs and organizations that I joined. Those are the things that really are memorable and create lasting relationships. If you are from the United States, maybe it brings you a lot of comfort that being a dually American and Swiss university, we can provide you with a lot of the comforts that you would expect a American university to have. Maybe that will aid you in the transition. I mean, certainly going to Europe is a big move. Living in Switzerland, living in, the Italian city of Lugano. But on campus, you will see a lot of familiarities. You will see residence halls. You will see an active office of student life who is consistently putting together activities and opportunities for you to engage with one another and for you to really broaden your horizons from a learning perspective. Maybe you just want to be active in recreation sports. Well, we have fitness centers on campus. We have a soccer field. So really kind of take advantage, keep your ears and eyes open during your college experience and see what you have to discover at Franklin. As I mentioned, we do have residence halls, and this is something that we pride ourselves on. We want to be the kind of campus that you don't just take classes and then leave. We want you to remain on campus and really look within the university for your academic life, your social life, your spiritual life, your recreation life. And this is often facilitated through the residence hall experience. We have multiple different residence halls located throughout our campuses. They have different layouts and kitchen access, typically private bathrooms, which surely are appreciative. And certainly all of the residence halls are within access to our 2 dining halls that are on campus as well. These residence halls are supported by full-time staff members who have a background in residential living, and they can facilitate and ensure that you are having a wonderful experience. Now, this is a map of our campus. You will see that our campus is actually broken up between the Kalish campus and then also the North campus as well. Between the two, it's a short walk through a very beautiful residential neighborhood. That walk is going to be only about 7 or 8 minutes, give or take. Students are crisscrossing between the North campus and the Kalish campus. So certainly it's not unusual to see many students on your 6 or 7 minute stroll from one campus to the other. Kind of in the middle, you will actually see a residence hall called Aroni, and that could be one place that you live. But we also have other residence halls both on the north side and then also the Kalish side, and then also one residence hall called Alba, which is closer to the city center of Lugano, but still just a short walk from campus as well. Now, we offer a lot of different programs of study at the university, at Franklin. Now, many students obviously will come for their 4-year bachelor degree seeking experience. But in addition to that, we also have a lot of other options as well. We do have a 2+2 program with Emerson College for those who might be interested specifically in business. You do your first 2 years at Franklin, you do your last 2 years at Emerson and earn degrees from both of us. We also collaborate with many universities around the United States, for you to spend a year with us or a semester. Maybe you're not quite ready to do your entire 4 years at Franklin in Switzerland, but just know that we do work with many universities from a study abroad perspective to at least give you that taste for a short-term experience of what it's like. And then we have visiting student programs as well. Maybe you're taking a gap year. Maybe you are in going into your final year of high school and want to spend a 4-week summer program with us. Those are options as well. Summer is just a great time to be in Switzerland. So the bottom line is we are very flexible and have a lot of different programs for you to consider. Now, if you are looking to do undergraduate or study abroad, our process is very similar to many liberal arts universities in the United States, for example. We are part of what is called the Common Application. You might be familiar with that term. It is a streamlined application process. But in addition to that, we would require an essay. We will require a personal statement. We want to know why you are interested in attending Franklin, considering it's a big decision. We want to make sure that it can be the right fit for you. We would need all your academic records. We would need your letters of recommendations. And then test scores are optional from a standpoint of the SAT or ACT. Franklin University has adopted a test optional policy. We've had that in place for a while. For anyone who is English is not your native language, we would require a English proficiency exam through the TOEFL. We require a 90 on that, for example, or like an IELTS, a 6.5 on that, or a Duolingo test. Yeah, if English is not your native language, but you are enrolled in a in a school where the language of instruction is English, it's very possible that through the application process that will suffice to meet the requirements as well. We will do a holistic review on you. So there isn't going to be one thing that necessarily gets you admitted to Franklin, and there isn't going to be one thing that necessarily gets you denied per se. A holistic review means that we are looking at the application holistically. We are looking at your grade trends. We are looking at the strength of your classes. We are looking at your achievement in them. We're looking at what your recommendation letters say about you, or what your personal statement reveals about your global desires, your leadership potential, etc. But we do look at your unweighted GPA. It's something that we recalculate. So just to kind of give you averages, because a lot of students like to just kind of know, okay, what are the averages? 3.4 unweighted. If you do submit an SAT 1200, ACT of 29, and an average IB score for those in that curriculum of a 30. Now, this is the cost of attendance, okay? I would say our cost mirrors a lot of liberal arts colleges, for example, in the United States. The first semester and the second semester is provided. We do offer a slightly discounted rate for those who are have a Swiss passport or an EU or an EEA member passport as well. That can automatically lead to a tuition discount, as you can see in Swiss francs. And then non-US and Canadian students, there is a different fee for you, and that is kind of located on the bottom. Now, obviously, that is the sticker price, and our job is to make the Franklin experience as affordable as possible. So being a U.S. University abroad, we do adhere to the FAFSA, and students are able to bring loans to Franklin. We also offer other merit scholarships based on your academic achievement, need-based scholarships as well. We also have through the LLS program some, which is through the Office of Student Life. We do have some opportunities for leadership, scholarship, and funding as well. So I always say, don't let the sticker price dissuade you from applying. You apply to a university like Franklin based on interest. You enroll based on how everything shakes out, including the financial piece. Now, you don't know what the financial piece is just yet. So let us work with you in the process to identify potential merit scholarships, need-based scholarships, the EU discount if you qualify, and other avenues to make this an affordable experience. So what does a degree from Franklin University lead you to? Well, it's pretty balanced in terms of where our graduates go on to go. We have everything from universities, we have students who are pursuing, the tech field, finance, service, nonprofit. This is interesting to note because even though we are a liberal arts university, we do have students who are obviously working in the tech industry. I think it's a misleading statement to say that students from liberal arts backgrounds are only pursuing poetry and humanities. No, they're pursuing all walks of careers, including technology, government agencies or organization, education, etc. We also have students who are going on for their graduate studies as well. So, here is a partial list of universities that students are going to, both in the United States and elsewhere. And then finally, this is a recent list of where some of our employees are working, or alumni. Many of these companies you are quite familiar with. In closing, I want to say thank you for your time. I know this was a lot of information, but hopefully you got little tidbits, a little bit of information in a broad broad areas that can help you with understanding. But let this just be sort of an opening, an introduction. We want you to continue to investigate, continue to learn about us, and continue to utilize this admission staff to support you in your application and enrollment journey. The cool thing about this admissions staff is we have multiple nationalities. We speak multiple languages. So certainly we're here to work with you and support you. So with that, I say thank you for learning more about Franklin University, Switzerland, and we can't wait to welcome you on our campus. Take care and all the best. Bye-bye.